We'll get to Jason's traffic in just a second. Things so far so good?
So far so good.
Good. It's early. It's 5:15. In about 5 minutes, it's probably all going to go to, well, you know what. We'll be in the 60s this morning. Storms this afternoon, but likely early on. 80s expected. Low to mid 80s for highs today for the drive home. Most of our big storms, those are going to be off to the east. But what we'll see here in town will likely be by early afternoon. By about 12 o'clock, we should see some darker skies. Those storms, as they roll east, they're going to turn pretty strong. Likely east of I-25 is where we're going to get some of the larger hail and even the risk of tornadoes. Much calmer on Saturday. No risk of severe storms tomorrow, but we're going to see it today. Loveland ski area pretty shot from there as we look off to the east this morning under a mostly sunny sky. We've got a little cloud cover east of Denver early this morning, and we've seen even a few light showers rolling off the foothills from Fort Collins to Greeley. Had a little activity this morning. Most of the big storms that we'll see again east of Denver, you can see that marginal risk of severe weather just clipping I-25, and then as you go east, they'll get bigger from Kiowa east toward Lyman there along the Palmer Divide, and then from, it looks like north to east, we could see from Sterling down in through Lamar that chance for some severe thunderstorm warnings this afternoon. Here's a look at Futurecast. Now, we should be in the low to mid 70s by about 8:30 to 9 o'clock under a partly to mostly cloudy sky across northern Colorado. The winds in the mountains picking up again today. It's going to get pretty breezy and hot, so fire danger once again really high out west. You can see by right around again 12 to 1 o'clock storms here along I-25. But look at how much bigger and stronger they get by early afternoon. That's right around 3 o'clock near Lyman and Akron, stretching east to Burlington. We've got that risk of large hail, damaging winds, and some tornadoes today. So do expect to see some really dark skies as you look off to the east. Grand Junction, 90 degrees by about 4:30. Montrose at 87. In town overnight tonight, we'll be under a partly cloudy sky. Things will clear out by early Saturday morning, and we should see some low to mid 60s early tomorrow. By tomorrow afternoon, fewer storms, very little activity there across that northern edge of the state. Overall, tomorrow is going to be a mostly sunny, pretty warm day. Should be in the mid to upper 80s by 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Then on Sunday, temperatures drop. We'll see likely some upper 70s to near 80 for a high. Chance for more thunderstorms, risk again for some severe weather. We're tracking a cold front that's going to bring our temperatures down a bit by about 10 degrees. So upper 70s again on Monday. Then another pretty good warm up. We've got more 90s now back on that 7-day forecast next Wednesday and Thursday. It's toasty, Jace.
Time to play a quick game, Lisa.
I love morning games.
All right, do you like morning games? All right, so look at this camera and identify what that thing is blowing in the wind here on the camera at 470 Quebec.
Cottonwood.
No.
Or a feather?
No, I don't think so.
It's a feather.
I thought it looked to me like a snake skin.
Ew. You know, I prefer Plinko over this game, by the way. I'm not going to lie. Yeah.
You don't like that game?
No.
Yeah, well, there's something. I asked CDOT if they, hey, get somebody over there and pull that thing down and clean the lens. It just leaves a little schmutz on there anyway. We're looking good here on Z470, right by Quebec. Not seeing any delays getting on over to I-25. Take a look at the drive down that way. Same thing here on I-25 over by Bellevue, Orchard, Arapahoe. Overnight paving is all done. 6th Avenue looks great. 10 minutes coming in to or from Lakewood along 6th Avenue. And that camera just up the road on I-70 here at Wadsworth looks wide open. A lot of trucks there heading to the west and the eastbound side wide open for us as well. No delays for us across town. I'm going to expect to see a lot of traffic here across 270, I-76 in the next about 20 minutes.
Nice Friday so far, though. If you're looking for a way to save on prescription drugs, you may want to leave your insurance card behind. Consumer Reports say a lot of the time it's cheaper to buy your prescriptions through discount drug plans offered by national retail chains. Stores like Walmart, Costco, Rite Aid, and Walgreens all have these programs. Many of them offer 30-day supplies for generic drugs for just a few dollars. But before you forego insurance, check your terms to find the best choice for you.
It's good news for coffee drinkers. A new study finds coffee may be good for your heart and more may be better. German researchers studied mice. They said, hey, put down the cigarettes, get out of the tanning beds, come over here, have some coffee. They gave them the equivalent of 4 cups of coffee a day. They found it helped increase activity of the P27 protein, which has been shown to improve recovery after heart attacks. That's good. But before you reach for another cup, researchers also warn that regardless of the findings, it's important to drink coffee in moderation. How many studies of coffee have they done?
I was just going to say, aren't there more important studies that we need to be doing? I don't know, like studies about cancer and stuff.
Everything in moderation.
There, no more studies.
All right, we've solved it. Well, before you hit the beach or the pool with your kids this summer, learn about the toys a consumer group says could put your child's safety at high risk.
Plus, new concerns from parents about free apps for kids. They may track more than they should.
how do I even begin to figure out which ones do and which ones don't?
So the changes you can make to protect your information.
New this morning, before you head out to the beach or the pool this summer, take a look at these common toys. A consumer safety group just named them to its list of summer safety traps. World Against Toys Causing Harm, or WATCH, says balloon slingshots are the worst because they can cause injuries to the face or eyes. They're followed by lawn darts and low-wheeled toys like tricycles. Now, also making the list, backyard pools, all-terrain vehicles, bounce houses, and several toys with small parts.
If you ever let your kids play with some apps on your phone, those free ones, there's a new report may change your mind about that. A study from 5 universities found that a number of popular free kids apps could be illegally sharing the parents' personal information. And that includes things like email addresses, home addresses sometimes, identifiers that track activity, and then they send it to a third party. Well, a lot of the developers of these apps have been caught and then fined, but it's pretty lucrative, so they just pay the fine and create a new company.
A lot of these folks know they're breaking the law, but they're making $80,000 to $100,000 over a few months.
There are a few things you can do to protect yourself. Turn off the location services for apps that you don't want to know them knowing where you are. And if possible, use the apps in airplane mode if you can, so that no data will be sent.
Now here's a look at what's coming up on Good Morning America this morning at 7.
In this morning's GMA First Look, a happy ending to a dramatic rescue.
My car's missing, my baby's missing.
Okay, you left the vehicle how long ago?
About an hour.
Seminole County, Florida Deputy Bill Dunn hugging the 3-year-old girl he rescued after nearly 12 hours in a hot car.
Went over to the driver's side, opened up the door, immediately hit with just a wave of hot, steamy air. So I took her out of the car seat, and she was just limp.
Police discovering the girl with no pulse sitting inside this car. Miraculously, the youngster making a full recovery.
With all the news that I got, I was like, it's unbelievable. It's a miracle.
While she survived, 16 children have died so far this year in hot cars, according to safety groups Kids and Cars. In 2017, there were 43 deaths. I will have tips for keeping your child safe coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
We're just 3 months away from turning up the music in that 3-day Grand Doozy Festival in Denver. And in just a few hours, you can get those single-day tickets. What you need to know when we come back.
Plus, if it seems a little too loud in Denver restaurants for you, you're not just hearing things. The new report that's ringing in our ears this morning. It is 5:30 as Congress prepares to vote on yet another immigration plan today. The demand for answers about kids separated from their parents at the border heats up.
The only thing is, we in Congress and the American people have a whole bunch of questions listed above, and I'll repeat them, that the president hasn't answered.
Today, 2 members of Congress from Colorado head to the border to see the situation firsthand.
Right now, just a few people in a small room across the world are making a decision that could impact what we all pay for gasoline, what OPEC may do in response to the U.S. oil production.
Plus, you may soon be paying more to shop online. How a Supreme Court decision could impact your digital shopping habits.
Good morning. Happy Friday. I'm Mitch Jelniker.
And I'm Molly Hendrickson. Thanks for joining us this morning. And Lisa Hidalgo joins us now with a first alert for a few more storms in our forecast. Where are we talking, Lisa?
Well, we got a little bit of a break, right? Now, most of the strong storms that we're going to see today will be east of I-25. I'll show you the location coming up. But this morning, you're stepping out the door to some pretty mild weather, some low to mid 60s at about 8 o'clock under a little mix of sun and clouds. Now, we'll see a few storms here in town by midday. So right around noon, the skies are going to get darker. And as those storms roll east, likely by about 4 o'clock, it'll be closer to Lyman, to Burlington, where we've got some pretty strong weather. Highs here in town in the low to mid 80s. We've got Congress Park at about 83, Lakewood today 85, and in Aurora this afternoon you're at 82. Fire danger really high out west. The winds are kicking up and it's again going to be really hot out to the west. So Jason, these fire weather warnings, those go into effect at 10 o'clock. I'll show you how conditions might improve a bit this weekend.
Northbound I-25 has not opened all the way yet. Let me show you why. They are finishing the striping. They're painting the lines right now on the northbound side. It's a pretty important job that you shouldn't rush because this is the final pavement right there. And so they put down that left lane, and hopefully that line is going to be, well, I mean, it's going to be there for years and years and years. So hopefully that guy's doing a good job at not rushing it. But we do have still the northbound lanes restricted coming up from around Arapahoe, Orchard, and getting on up to Bellevue. So so far, not a huge delay, but it is starting to bunch up traffic. Down there on the map, starting to see a little bit more yellow showing up on that northbound side, but I'll keep you posted when all lanes do open. The north side of town, I-70 looks okay. One crash downtown right at Spear and Auraria. Not a huge deal, but just something to be mindful of. Otherwise, the commute times are just starting to get a little bit heavier here this morning.
Well, developing in our nation's capital, the House won't vote on an immigration bill today as Republicans are struggling to come up with a bill that has enough support to pass. The House voted down a conservative immigration bill yesterday, and leaders say they need more time to work out details of a new compromise bill. They were supposed to vote on it yesterday, but now, as of now, it's off until probably next week at the earliest. Right now, the bill includes $25 billion for a border wall, a provision to keep migrant families together, and a pathway to citizenship for Dreamers. Colorado Representatives Diana DeGette and Mike Kaufman are not waiting on the immigration bill. Today, they're heading right to the U.S. border with Mexico, along with several other members of Congress. They want to see what's happening with their own eyes.
I think it's so important for elected officials to really see the conditions at the border for ourselves. I want to see what's going on down there with these families. Are they still being held in pens? What's happening to the kids?
Now, while waiting for an immigration bill, Representative DeGette is calling on her fellow House members to vote in favor to the Keep Families Together Act, which would prohibit the separation of kids and their families. Here in Colorado, there are new concerns raised by Democrat Jared Polis about the ICE facility we have in Aurora. Polis says a 64-year-old Iranian detainee died last December, didn't get the medical care he needed. Right now, the cause of death is not known, but the ACLU is looking into it. It says the secrecy surrounding the death mimics the secrecy surrounding what's happening at families at the Mexican border right now. Well, Denver 7's been on top of this immigration story all week. You can see all of our reporting right now on the denverchannel.com. You can also download the free Denver 7 app so you can get updates as those new developments come in as we continue to track the story.
Happening today, the flaggers at 4 A-line crossings will work their last shift. RTD got the green light from federal regulators to do away with some of those crossing guards over the next couple of days. And Denver 7's Megan Lopez is live this morning at the Holly Crossing. And Megan, these flaggers were pretty expensive.
Very expensive for RTD anyway, Molly, and that's because these flaggers have been costing RTD tens of millions of dollars over the past 2 years that they've been in place, and they've been working right alongside of the crossing arms. Now, the reason that these flaggers were here is because the commission that regulates these crossings and these crossing arms didn't trust the brand new technology that's used to operate them. So this is just the latest step that RTD is taking to get the A-line train to run as it was originally intended. The flaggers at the Holly, Dahlia, Steele, and Clayton crossings will be removed today at 6 p.m. And then tomorrow they're going to be removed from the Havana and Chambers crossings. And more are expected to be removed in coming weeks. And the next step is to try to stop this. So these train horns have been blaring over the A-line's 23-mile stretch of track at all hours of the day, all hours of the night, and that's because of the questions surrounding the technology behind those crossing arms.